Hello, America! I am Polly the protesting penguin, aka Penguina Politica, delegate of the Coalition of Concerned Penguins. I am here representing thousands of penguins who are crossing oceans on rafts of ice, surfing through currents, braving the elements in order to join you on June 14th, 2025, No King's Day, in solidarity on this very important day of resistance. We understand your democracy is slipping away and that you're in need of restoring and rebuilding it. We agree that respecting and upholding the U.S. Constitution is essential to maintaining justice and democracy. This is the very heart of what makes your nation so great, outlining the laws and ideals intended to secure life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Many of your constitutional rights are being systemically violated. The First Amendment, protecting free speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, and freedom of peaceful assembly, are all under siege. Peaceful protesters being jailed is violating not only the First Amendment, but also the 4th, 5th, and 14th Amendments, which together all guarantee due process and protection from unlawful searches and seizures. Freedom of the press is under attack. Not only are news media outlets facing Trump's lawsuit, get a load of this.
One of the president's preferred ways to take questions comes from a group you don't always see, but definitely hear. In the Oval Office, on Air Force One, on trips abroad, a smaller circle of reporters known as the Pool, outlets whose reports end up in local news in every state. How much of America, hundreds of miles from Washington, gets its news. And until today, the Pool would typically include 3 spots for the wire services, the AP, Reuters, and Bloomberg. Now, no more. Those outlets' access limited after the White House changed things up as part of an ongoing fight with the AP, which was banned from the Pool after it declined to change its style guide to refer to the Gulf of America, as the White House renamed it, instead of the Gulf of Mexico. But a federal judge overruled the White House, saying just last week the ban is contrary to the First Amendment. It's just one example of what some experts say is the administration testing the limits of its executive branch power to push back on the judicial branch.
These are branches of government that are really a final check against unconstitutional conduct. What we see unfolding is something that is truly unheard of in American national history, and it's unfolding in real time.
Religious freedom is also at risk, with ICE agents raiding places of worship. Citizens and constituents are being barred or removed from town halls for expressing concerns, and many are also being arrested. Constitutional rights and protections are supposed to be guaranteed to all Americans, but the rule of law is being ignored and injustice is escalating. If this weren't all bad enough, essentially your whole government is being bought by big moneyed interests. And this has been happening for decades, but has reached a corrupt tipping point. Your country has eroded from a democracy to a vile mix of oligarchy, autocracy, kleptocracy, and plutocracy. From we the people to we the corporations and billionaires. Social systems carefully designed to serve millions of Americans are being dismantled, undermining vital programs and services intended to uplift communities and enhance quality of life. Also, mega millionaires and billionaires can get richer. And I leave you with these video clips from MSNBC and CBS, reiterating much of what I'm sharing with you.
I want to share with our viewers something the president posted, Ed. It's a message that reads in part, quote, "Long live the king." And this is after he ended New York's congestion pricing. Of course, the founders of the U.S. famously left my homeland of England precisely because they don't want to live under a king.
So, yeah, I mean, I just think, look, the guy's an authoritarian, and that's what we're seeing is, you know, he's engaging in those kind of, he's an autocrat, and these are kind of authoritarian things he's doing.
Today, perhaps seeking to ingratiate themselves in the early hours of a more autocratic era in American history. Mark Zuckerberg, Tim Cook, Jeff Bezos were there. The CEOs for Google and TikTok will be around for all of the Trump inauguration events. Joining us now is Democratic Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut. You've been sounding the alarms since the earliest hours on Election Day. Your thoughts about how much of what you've been warning about is coming to pass today?
This is the unraveling of our democracy, because what is happening before our eyes is that the billionaires who control huge parts of this economy are trading favors with Donald Trump. The first official policy that Trump is going to pursue here in Congress is a massive tax break for those billionaires and those corporations, paid for by devastating cuts to regular people. Medicare, Medicaid, the Affordable Care Act, education programs. This is a government for, by, and of the billionaires. It's an old-fashioned corruption.
In other countries that have experienced this kind of democratic backsliding or full-on transition to authoritarianism, have we similarly seen a rollback of the safety net, maybe to spend more money on propaganda like military parades?
Honestly, the speed at which this is happening and the kind of concentrated push to do this, it doesn't have any parallel in situations where leaders came to power through elections. If you look at the early Putin or the early Orban or Erdogan, they didn't move at this speed. This resembles more after there's been a coup.